Good morning, everybody. Dr. Vibe here, host and producer of the award-winning Dr. Vibe Show, the home of Epic Conversations, and I'm the host of Epic Conversations 2020, Best Podcast News Award winner, 2018 Innovation Award winner, given out by the Canadian Ethnic Media Association. I also co-host and co-produce the only online show in the world for dads and fathers. It's sponsored by Dove Men Plus Care, and being part of that team last year, last year and the year before, 2020. I don't even know what year we're in now. 2022 and 2021 reached out directly and indirectly to over 100,000 fathers and men around the world. As always, I'd like to say you're blessed, highly favored, a magnet for miracles, and a solution for someone's problem. Let's bring co-hosts Superman. Hi, Superman.
Right. Yes.
Yes. You are Superman. You just showed up.
Appreciate it. And for those that don't know, I guess, who this Superman is, my name is Ryan Knight, one of the co-founders of the Afro Caribbean Business Network. We work with entrepreneurs of African and Caribbean heritage, really to figure out what stage their business is in and help them create a strategy to grow their companies exponentially. And we are going to be doing a Grow Your Business event tomorrow in Durham, specifically in Ajax, and specifically at Afiri Groove. So shout out to Sanaj that runs the dance studio there. And we have entrepreneurs going to be networking and learning about funding, how to use AI, and how to amplify your marketing. So I know I wasn't sure if you were going to be able to make it. I know your Saturdays are pretty busy.
First of all, good to hear you and good to see you. I know
yes,
we when we get a hold of you, it's a momentous event. So let's celebrate the momentous. Saturday, I don't like the word busy. I like the term positive productive.
I agree,
because I think busy is overrated with some people. Because when I ask, oh, what are you busy doing? And I go, okay, that's keeping you busy. Okay, no problem. I like the word. I like to have positive outcomes. So I like to say positive, productive. We'll see if I can make it tomorrow. I know you are already sold out, but I may be a crasher. So
always on the VIP list.
Tell
them at the door. It's like I know that guy.
Yeah, I know. I know the Gala King. Yes, I said, right. They go, what? So what's been going on with you? Haven't heard from you in a bit. What's been going down?
Things are slowly taking shape with this announcement from the Social Finance Fund. So the $755 million that the federal government is putting towards social enterprises through what they call the Social Finance Fund. They announced who the wholesalers are. So they're going to get the money from the government. Some of them have created their criteria for the intermediaries that they're going to invest money into. So there's a info session on June the 19th that's supposed to explain.
Juneteenth.
Yeah, I'm sure they have no clue it's Juneteenth.
I know that. Okay.
But all right. So we'll see, I guess, what how they explain what the next phase is going to look like. So looking forward to that.
Good. Well, some things going down as always. If you want to, please like the Dr. Vibe Show on YouTube and hit the notification button. Actually, I've had last 30 days had really strong YouTube growth in regards to people subscribing. So thank you. And more people commenting on things on YouTube, which is also good for the algorithm, the Darth Vader, right? The Darth Vader of the online. So also, if you'd like, please join the Morning Vibe Discord group. Please email me at dr@thedrvibeshow.com, and you can join our conversations in between shows. Interesting you mentioned AI.
Right.
So I think I'd mentioned to you, or I've mentioned periodically over the last few conversations we've had here about a gentleman who did a presentation at the internet. Maybe you didn't catch this. Okay, so a little background. A week ago yesterday, which would have been the 1st of January, myself, Roger Dundas, and Charles Matthew attended the Interactive Advertising Bureau event, a digital day camp.
Right.
So did I tell you about this?
Yeah, and it
Okay.
was
A gentleman who did,
guy that was Kobo.
Yeah, he's he runs an agency that one of his clients is Kobo, the Kobo Reeler, who did a full ad campaign using ChatGPT. Didn't use another agency. ChatGPT. Well, believe it or not, family, if you're around next Wednesday at 10 a.m., which is the 14th, Devin McDonald is going to be on live talking about his company, his organization's experience about ChatGPT and all things about media and ChatGPT. And he was named by one of the organizations that I keep in track of, advertising media person of the year in Canada last year.
Oh, wow. That's serious. Okay.
Yeah. So
you're having a conversation with him?
Live here on the Dr. Vibe show.
Excellent.
So that is coming up. We'll promote it a little bit more this coming Monday. Speaking about Monday coming up, this Monday on the Morning Vibe, Dr. Tachi will be talking about media, tech, and pop culture, and the launching of her and her partner in crime, Curtis Brooke. They're on their 24/7 media network that's going to be launching on June 19th, and you'll be able to watch some of this content on their platform because they want this content. So as I always say, interesting, I'm living in Canada and platforms outside of Canada want this content, but we're still in not even the starting gate of doing these sort of things, collaborating. I'm not saying, I'm just saying. I'll leave it at that. Right. But yes, she's going to be on talking about that. But yeah, we have two. So if you're into media, next week's your jam, especially digital media. Next week is your jam. Dr. Tachi on Monday, and then also on Wednesday at 10 a.m. Devin McDonald will be talking about the impact of digital on advertising and media.
Excellent.
So if you're around at 10 o'clock next Wednesday, I would highly recommend, even if you have even remotest, what's this AI thing and how is it impacting media? That's the gentleman. And interesting enough, just as I say, people too, never be afraid to shoot your shot. I saw this man at a presentation.
Right.
Never met him before. I talked to him for 7 minutes. Went home, sent him a video introduction.
Right.
He said yes.
See, and it's beyond like just shooting your shot, but explaining what you do and making the ask. A lot of times we don't make the ask.
And don't be afraid to make the big ask because you never know what they're gonna say. Right? So so know what you're talking about, know what you're asking for, and bang. Also, I should also say next Tuesday evening on the Dr. Vibe show, Dr. Alicia Watkins is going to be back.
Okay, excellent. So what day was that?
Next Tuesday, 9 p.m. Eastern time. Dr. Alicia Watkins, she'll be giving a wonderful thought about Lenswise about Father's Day because it is coming up. And what's the topic? Okay, some people are saying hello, so I might as well say good morning, family. Right way home. Good morning, Kuban. Good morning, Kings. Thank you. Another person. Good afternoon, you're all. I'm joining you from Sierra Leone. Fantastic. Frequency
event there.
Good question. What time is it, Mohammed? There. Also, frequency event, Dr. Vibe and Night. Now you're saying have a great weekend and all. Like we're not even finished this conversation yet. Behave yourself.
Some people, the weekend starts on Friday.
Yes, and before we get to it's a new friend for many of us, but not for you, Ryan. How are things coming along for your event at the end of this month?
I would say progressing, and it's crunch time. The final pieces always before events there's like a build up to events. So as we mentioned last week, it's sold out. So we have about.
Oh, okay. Hold on a second.
Yes.
You got to tell the name of it because you're making this assumption that people know what it is.
So, Dr. Vibe, we are talking about the Federal Black Entrepreneurship Ecosystem Conference. So, a bit of context: there's the Black Entrepreneurship Ecosystem that was funded by the federal government. So, about 44 organizations across Canada were funded to support Black entrepreneurs. So, this conference, which is going to be the second one, so there was one last year in June, and now in this year, to bring all those partners together and also the entrepreneurs that we support, so that we can talk about different topics like arts and media is one specific theme for a day, procurement and international trade. So it's good to see people from Sierra Leone on, where we're talking about how to do business in the Caribbean, the continent, in Europe, and also the third day is about capacity building for the ecosystem partners. And then on the Friday, we have Errol Gibbs, who wrote the Black Entrepreneurship Manifesto, the Black Empowerment Manifesto.
That's a mouthful.
Right. So he's going to be talking about, do we need a Black think tank? And if we do, how do we create one? There's a gentleman, Claudius Thomas, that's going to be talking about AI and how to integrate it into what we do with our organizations. And we have a special guest closing out the entire conference, Claudette McCowan, talking about cybersecurity and how to make sure it's implemented properly in our organizations, because everything is shifting to digital. Cybersecurity is a big, big topic that we have to be ahead of.
Okay, so let's get to the rest of the family, because lots of people are in here. Kuban says, when I make my reveal, you will both be very surprised. Ryan, we have met in person. I have an alter ego. I don't know about, okay. Media star you are, Fitness IQ Cam. Morning, folks. Roger Dundas, good morning. Some people have not confirmed their travel plans.
Right. I'm hoping he's only talking about himself. Like, get it
I'm
done,
one too.
Oh, geez.
I haven't.
So
but here,
I didn't mention it is in Windsor, so it's not in Toronto.
Exactly. Also, too, just to big up Roger Dundas, as always I do, Roger Dundas will be co-hosting my conversation in regards to AI. So the Dr. Vibe Show and Buy Blacks are going to be, this word, collaborating, like I said at the beginning. I say going to be collaborating doing this conversation, because Roger knows about this space. And actually I have to thank Roger. Roger allowed me to come with him and Charles to this conference. So that was the least that I could do. I'm actually thinking about getting one more co-host for that conversation. And that could, and Roger doesn't even know this yet. I'll be telling him that I'm going to ask for one more person to see if they'd be interested in the code. And if he comes on, watch out.
Nice.
All I'm going to say is this potential other co-host resides in Baltimore. I'll leave it at that. Okay.
Oh, I'm actually in Ajax. You mean Ajax?
No, Baltimore, Maryland, not Ajax.
Right.
Okay. All right. Look at, so for you, did you say the conference in Windsor is sold out? Yeah, he said that weeks ago. Frequency Event Promotions.
Yes.
Weren't you there? I think you were on that conversation.
And I thought it was about to be sold out. I think there was a couple tickets, and you had your chance, man. So let me know if anybody drops off. We'll see if we can.
Yeah, that's at least 2 weeks ago.
Yes.
Right? Fitness IQ Cam. Yes. Kubagan. I don't know who that is. You probably do, Ryan. Fitness IQ. Yes. 2 folks collaborating. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we got to stop. I'm going to stop 2 more comments, and that's it, because we have a new friend of y'all, but not to Ryan, working here, and she has branded her t-shirt today too. Muhammad says, I'm working on recycling project for damaged LCDs and e-waste in Sierra Leone to save electronic harmful chemical substance poisoning our soul and provide job. I'm interested in finding out about that.
That's
before we leave today, I'll get my email. I'd actually like you to come on the show and talk about that, to be honest with you. And So, and Roger says, I know who that is. Okay. Because Roger, it came to my mind last night of inviting this person. So if you're cool with that, I'm going to invite him to see if he showed up, because this person from Baltimore, and I've been wanting forever for Roger to meet him. So I thought, hey, maybe this would be a good way for them to get together. All right. And she says, and I need partners in a grant to start this project. Okay. Stop for the comments for now. All right. So Ryan, you have a new friend for all of us to introduce to. I was going to read her bio, but I said, you probably want to you can probably do a nice informal introduction. So make it happen.
Yeah, and we'll get her to describe her bio in her own words. But as we talk about the conference in Windsor, we were able to connect with entrepreneurs on the ground there. And thanks to Farley Nuibo and making the connection to our guest today and getting to learn more about what she's been doing with her business and with the community. It's been really inspiring for me to learn about. And of course, she's been a wonderful help with connecting us and helping us to structure the conference. But Salem is a business owner and community advocate in Windsor. Runs every time somebody talks about her hair studio, their eyes light up. So unfortunately, I can't go get my extensions.
And if you can't, I can't. All right. So you're ahead of line to me because you got something to work with.
I don't just go pick it in.
Yeah, pick.
Maybe she didn't work miracles.
Yes.
But yes, very well connected and a true supporter of the Black community and Black businesses in Windsor. So today, glad and humbled and honored to have Salem. Oh, I've been getting the first name right. You have to help me with the last name. Is it Berhane? Berhana?
That actually was really, really good. Yeah, it's Salem Berhane.
All right. Pleasure to have you on.
Pleasure to be here. Good morning, Dr. Vibe. How are you?
I am blessed, highly favored, a magnet for miracles, solution for someone's problem, and Blackalicious. How are you?
Amen. Oh, I'm only just here to say good. I'm great. That was an awesome answer. I was in the back. I'm glad I was in the backstage because I was cracking up back here and I'm like, oh my God, I hope no one could see me. So you guys are awesome. I was enjoying watching you both. So that was great. But yeah, no, Ryan's amazing. It's been such a pleasure working on this conference. I couldn't be more excited to be a part of it. I took the whole week off of work and my clients are upset, but they'll learn, they'll live, they will live.
Wow, you took time off?
I did. I took the whole week off. So, well, let me go a little bit in the back up a little bit and just introduce myself first. So I'm Salem Berhane. I am originally from Toronto by way of Eritrea, East Africa, and I moved to Windsor 15 years ago to study at the University of Windsor for psychology and dramatic arts. I wanted to just work with youth. That was always my passion, even when I was in Toronto. So I stayed in that field. And I was a high school counselor for a period of time. And then I was a probation officer for a period of time. And then I was just I loved both of my jobs. I love helping people, but I didn't like the clocking in, clocking out. I just can't do that stuff. Maybe that's my stubborn side, but the clocking in and clocking out wasn't doing it for me. So while I was doing that, I was doing hair in my basement. Just for, a few friends here and there, and then, word mouth gets around kind of thing. And that's the beauty of being in a city like Windsor that's small, but not that small as well. And then during the pandemic, everyone was just can I get my hair done? Can I get my hair done? I'll wear a hazmat suit. I'll wear 2 masks. And I'm like, okay, but where are you going with your hair done kind of thing? So that just kind of dawned on me and was just you know what, maybe I should open a salon instead. I don't like working for other people. I want to make my own hours, even though they're longer hours. So August 2020, I opened Inclusive Beauty Solutions in a 900 square feet space with 1 salon seat and then beauty supplies, hair products and hair and all of that stuff. And then June of 2023, I moved into a 1,850 square foot space with 3 salon seats and 4 barber seats. So it's just like the name says, inclusive. It's inclusive to everybody, males and females, braids and barbers, black and white. It's just for everybody. But going back to the Black entrepreneurship, my favorite part about my shop is that in the front we have a Bristol board, not a Bristol board, a cork board, information board, and it has all Black businesses on there and only Black businesses. Like I've had people come here and ask, like, can I put my business card on there? And I'm like, I'm sorry, this is a space for just Black people. If you go, or Black businesses, and even if you go on my Facebook, I'm always like, I'm looking for an accountant. He has to be Black or she has to be Black. Like, I have no shame in my Blackness and wanting to support Black entrepreneurs. I have a space in my salon for beauticians that have beauty products, hair care, beard oils and stuff. They're all Black businesses. I take barely, I buy this stuff from them. I don't give them I don't charge them no shelf space or anything of that nature. And they are in here and they've done very, very well. One of the products being a top seller in Windsor and has reached Africa, Europe, the States, all because, well, I don't want to say all because of me, because it's all her work, but just from the networking and stuff like that. All my staff are Black. My accountant is Black. My contractors are Black. Like I try to stick to blackety black. I'm the definition of that.
So you would say you're unapologetically Black.
Like beyond, there's another word that you can find better than me that will let people know I'm unapologetically Black. And you know what though? I do it in such a way that white people don't even get upset about it. They do not get upset about it.
Okay, that's the dog, right?
That's my dog. He comes to work with me. Yeah, he comes to work with me.
So let me ask, and there's so much to unpack here. How difficult was it for you, a Black woman, to leave the 9-to-5? And when did you realize it was time for me to leave the 9-to-5?
I think for me, 2 things. One of them, when it was in the when we were in the pandemic, there was, I apologize for the dog. There was, I was one of the last hirees at my probation office job. So even though after the pandemic, like I still got my job, there was a chance that I wouldn't have gotten my job back. And there was other friends of mine or that were in the same position where they were like one of the last hirees and didn't get their job back because they were cutting down and stuff. So I have 2 children and I'm thinking my finances are in somebody else's hands. There's no way I can continue to live like this, like knowing that at any point I can lose my job if I come to work a minute late, if I type the wrong thing on a report or whatever. Like that just didn't sit well with me. And then it's just like, you know, as Black people, we're always the last ones to get raises and stuff like that. So, you know, as a business owner, I get to choose how hard I want to work to put my business wherever I want it to be. Whereas in a field like that, there's so far that I can only climb up. So I can work my butt off and I'm only making that maximum that they're willing to give me kind of thing. That didn't sit well with me. So that was why I made the transition of being an entrepreneur.
I'm so curious, just initially, what drew you to becoming a probation officer? Typically, that's not a job that people aspire to. So I was curious what the story is there.
I think it goes back to like connections. I had a friend of mine that worked there. And she was just like, you know what, you would be a great probation officer. You do really well with kids. You do really well with people. You see people for themselves and not for like what they've done, or you're so not judgmental, and you do casework all the time, like in the previous jobs that I've had. And so I gave it a shot. She was just like, you know what, just hand in your resume and, I'll, if my manager like calls you, then then it can't hurt. You can make a decision then.
Yeah.
So I went in and we literally had like just a formal conversation. We didn't even speak about, like, it wasn't like an interview kind of thing. And she just loved the work that I've done, including like my non-for-profit organizations that I have here. And she was just like, wow, you'd be a perfect asset to the team. And a couple months later, she was just like, hey, do you want a job? And I was like, sure. It was so informal.
Well, and not to skip over sorry, Dr. Vibe, I don't know if you had a question.
Yeah, I have a conversation piece. Working as a corrections officer, how many people looking like you, myself, and Ryan did you see?
2. Let me not. There was 2. Sorry, I apologize. There was a supervisor as well. So there was 3 of us that were visibly Black. And then there was another lady who was, I believe she was from like Bangladesh or India or something of that nature. And then everybody else was either white. And then they try to differentiate themselves by saying like, oh, I'm Italian and I'm Serbian. You're all white. Sorry.
Okay. I want to dig a little deeper though. What was the clientele you dealt with melanated?
Yeah. You know what? Surprisingly, it wasn't as melanated as I thought it was going to be going into it. But then that just like, after a while, I'm just like, I couldn't understand why. But that's because, or at least I thought so, because they weren't, like, when you're on probation, that means you're given a second chance kind of thing. Whereas the melanated people weren't getting second chances. They were going straight to jail. And this is my conclusion. I could be totally wrong, but this was what my conclusion was, right? A lot of the cases I dealt with was just like domestic violence or like trespassing and so on and so forth, right? And they had to be on probation for like 2 years or 18 months and stuff. Whereas in our jails, there was more melanated people, but on probation, there was less. The least amount actually were Black.
Interesting. Thank you for that. Ryan, go ahead.
Yeah, I was curious. You mentioned there's a couple nonprofits that you run. Can you dig a bit deeper into those organizations?
Yeah, so when I first moved to Windsor, myself and a few partners started the Eritrean-Canadian community of Windsor. So basically it was Eritreans that have been here for a while, helping the ones that just came, helping them with housing, connecting them to like doctors and jobs and so on and so forth. So we kind of just like, help them ease their way into being fit for society in Windsor, pretty much. And then Family Fuse, that started a few years ago, which is dear to my heart. So we support Black Canadians, parents, guardians, and caregivers in the education system. So a lot of times our kids are, wrongfully treated in schools and our parents don't know what to do or feel like they don't have no rights. So we advocate for them. We have a life coach on board, and we also have a child and youth worker, and then we do like workshops on like workplace rights and how to tackle microaggression, which is really not that micro, and different topics, mental health and stuff. So we break down different workshops. We have the public board, the Catholic board, French board, and English board on board with us, Windsor Police, and just City of Windsor, and a plethora of organizations that are partnered up with us. So I love Family Fuse. And my team is phenomenal. Christy Nelson and Clarice Carter, phenomenal individuals.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just, a few comments here. Right Way Home saying, Salem, great to see you. It's Paul Osborne. I don't know.
Okay, the name sounds very familiar.
Okay, no problem. Frequency Event Promote says we love the word networking. I'm sort of, because I always want to say, you know what I'm going to say, Ryan? The question is your net working? I'll leave it at that.
Okay. Yes.
Muhammad saying great sharing from Salem, and Right Wing saying interesting analysis of who gets probation. I don't live in Windsor. Most of the time I pass through Windsor to get to the United States.
Yeah.
Can you give us a lens of what the Black environment is like in Windsor?
Through my eyes again, because I I think Windsor is super unique because we have our Black Canadians, and then we have our Africans, and then we have our Caribbeans, right? So you have three different groups of Black people, which in the eyes of everybody, we're all Black, but then within ourselves, we're somewhat actually segregated from each other, but we also work together, but there's some trust issues as well. We all have different struggles. We've all came here differently. You'll have, like, let's just say if it was like emancipation celebration kind of thing, you would have a lot of the newcomer Africans, or even that's been here for a while but are like, stuck with just their African group, kind of be like, oh, that's not for me kind of thing. Not because they don't think that's worth celebrating, but their mission here is different. Like, they came from Africa to have a better life here. So their mission is work, 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 get a job, buy a house, get, education for their or save for their kids' education, and send every extra penny that they have back home.
Okay.
Right.
Caribbeans, I would say somewhat the same. Like, they stick with themselves. So if we have like a African celebration of some sort, they would be like, oh, that's not for us, that's for Africans kind of thing, right? And then the Black Canadian population, a lot of this stuff is like, historical and through the Underground Railroad and stuff. And like, with me as somebody that's been here for 35 years, I was from Toronto too, so a lot of my friends and stuff like that are Caribbean as well. Like, I'm well embedded in that, not just Caravana. I mean, like, more than more than Caravana. I try to attend all three events, whether it's African related, Caribbean, or Black Canadian. But amongst each other, like, the vast majority of us don't understand that. So it's tough. It's tough. It's tough to deal with everybody. Until that trust is there and we all understand we're all one and we could do so much better with together, it's gonna stay segregated.
I want to go a little bit deeper on this because this will bring up my three, as always: trauma, repetition, and symbolism.
Yeah.
What do you feel is going to take for us, many of us, to break that trauma that we have? These silos,
right? Education, and then time, or like young leaders that are from either group but been here long enough to understand that we're all people, like, that are like open-minded, because our seniors, unfortunately, you can't teach an old dog new tricks, right? So they're pretty much out of the question. Like, it takes a special senior to understand that, because I've been to events where we've had an African man say, like, as an African, like a real African, and the Black Canadians just lose their mind, because it's like, are you trying to tell me that I'm a fake African and I was like forced to come to Canada, or my ancestors were forced to come here, but from Africa, and now I'm a fake African now? Is that what you mean by saying as a real African? But he just probably meant to say born in Africa. Like, when I speak, I always say, I'm from Toronto by way of Eritrea, or born Eritrean, raised in Canada, African living in Canada. Like, I try to use those type of words, but when we start using the real this or the fake this,
right.
So I think just education, conversations like this, and then just doing events that are not necessarily related to a specific group, but just Black excellence. So one thing I love about the conference that's coming to Windsor is just, if you're Black and you have a business, it doesn't matter where you are. So the common denominator is everybody having a business or that entrepreneurship mind. But then we're all in a room full of Black people from all three different regions. But our common denominator is entrepreneurship or just having a business, and not necessarily where exactly you were born.
And that was an interesting dynamic as we are working together to put together the conference. And now having like the organizations, the African focused ones, the Caribbean focused ones, and then realizing they had never even been to each other's locations. It's like,
Yep.
you are like, Windsor is not huge. So
Nope.
the fact that, so as you're talking through the dynamics, it's starting to give it context onto the mindset of the different ways that we get to Canada, the different histories that we have, and really how do we bridge that so that we can say, hey, it doesn't matter how we got here. We're all have the same mission of making a better life for our families, supporting those back home if you have a family back home. But
Right.
now going forward, I'm curious your thoughts on the entrepreneurship landscape. What might be needed to really boost Black entrepreneurship in Windsor, or what are you seeing kind of bubbling up?
I'm actually pretty impressed with the entrepreneurship in Windsor. And I feel like there's been a rise in since the pandemic. Like I've seen I don't know if it's because I just became a business owner or an entrepreneur as of August 2020. So like they're coming towards me, but like literally every time somebody walks into my door and I'm just like, oh, so what do you do? And a lot more often than not, people will say that they're business owners.
Yes.
And that's when I'm just like, bring me your cards and like I had to buy a second cork board to fit them all in there because one wasn't enough kind of thing, right? What I would like to see more of though is business. Like we have a lot of like restaurants, and I'm not knocking anyone that has a restaurant, but like a lot of like restaurants or a lot of salons or beauty related or one individual like product and stuff. I would love to see more in building together to buy property to have our own rented or be in there kind of thing. So things that will always generate income, and whether you're actually doing something or not. So I find a lot of our businesses are labor related, including myself, and not so much like using like technology to kind of do it for you and buying property and stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm going to jump into that. I think we need to diversify our business and product offerings because it's going to get back to the whole crabs in the bucket theory. We're all doing the same thing over and over again. There are a pile of comments here, and I got to catch up because people are going to get mad at me if I don't put them up here. So and questions too. So this is probably too far back. We need to teach them new tricks, though. I think she's talking about elders.
True.
Like you can.
Very true.
Morning, Ottawa, we're breaking generation curses. Let our elder women and our ex-aunties pick knees to put misogynistic elder men in their place. I got that word out. We're all learning about crabs in the barrel mentality. Yep. What's a new one for me is airing dirty laundry, but still trying to build on Black code first. If we have enablers and abusers, airing dirty laundry is necessary tool. Sorry, but not sorry. And we got some questions. Also, morning Ottawa says, stop hoarding power to boost entrepreneurship. Stop gatekeeping.
That's a big one.
Diversifying business. Right Way Home says. Speaking of which, Dr. Tachi's in the house. So, ladies and gentlemen, she's going to be on the show live on Monday. Host of the great media tech and pop culture show Mediascope, which is on Wednesdays at 5 p.m. live on Instagram, and then 6 p.m. Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitch, other places. And June 19th, launching the Indie Soup Network, 24/7 online platform with mostly melanated people on it, like myself and Ryan are going to be on. She is going to be on the Morning Vibe on Monday. So how convenient you jumped in. So we have some questions for you. Okay. Frequency event promotions. What fueled your passion for business?
I've always just done my hair. To be honest, I had like really long soft hair when I was younger. Nobody wanted to do my hair. My mom's like, I do it today and it comes out tomorrow. So I was like, I'm gonna learn how to do my own hair, and I'm never gonna do anybody else's hair. Turns out where I don't do my own hair and I do everybody else's hair now. But it kind of fell into my lap. I just knew how to do hair well. And then the pandemic had me sitting around thinking, and then I just gave it a shot.
Okay. Latanya, haven't seen you in a while. Latanya, good to have you. Agreed. Revenue streams through joint ownership, collaboration within business cultures. I like that. Collaboration within business cultures. I like that part. I frequency again. What are some business needs you see that are needed in Windsor?
So just the ones that are not labor intense kind of thing is what I personally think. So like, even with my shop, everything that I've done from my cleaners to this to that are black except for my landlord. So if my landlord was black, so we had, property by black owners and stuff, it would have been 100% black in here, right? So certain things like that.
I'm speaking that one day land's going to be part of your portfolio. Something tells me that's going to be part of your portfolio in the future.
So it was before I bought this place. I did put an offer on a building. I got outbid by 65K. So after this place, that's going to be next. That being said, though, I just recently bought some acres in Nova Scotia. So I'm definitely going to be doing some container homes there. I'm probably going to go out at the end of this summer, granted that it's safe with the fires and stuff that's going out over there. And that's the goal, to go down there and
I was right.
Check that out and just do some container homes. I literally just bought it like not even a month ago.
Wow.
Yeah, so I'm excited.
Please keep us in the loop with the development of that.
I will. Actually, it was Farley that was telling me about these container homes, because I'm like, I can't afford to build on these properties. And then I started looking into these container homes, and like a good size is like 30 to 40,000. I'm like, okay, that's more up my alley. So I'm about to do a few of those. It's right by water in Cape Breton. So I'm super, super excited.
Well, I would say if you want the introduction, a person who just recently went out there is Roger Dundas from buyblacks.com. He spent some time out there, so he could give you a lens of what's going on in that area.
Oh, I'll definitely reach out to him.
Mohammed, all the way from Sierra Leone family, Sierra Leone, saying with collective efforts, the Black investment will be at the apex. We just need to trust each other and work collaboratively.
That's true.
I would
agree. That's true. And that's, sorry, continue.
But I think you don't have to work with everyone. You work with the right ones. Go ahead.
And that's true. And that's why, so that goes even back to the product owners that I have in my shop. Like I've reached out to some and some have reached out to me, and I was just like, yep, you can get a shelf space. And in return, I just ask you on your social media to just put that your product is being sold at Inclusive Beauty Solutions. And so sometimes they'll come for their product and then buy something else, or be like, oh, you guys braid here, and then come and get their hair braided. So it's like you scratch my back, I scratch yours. And at the end, while you're in your sleep, people are buying your product here, and all monies goes to you. I take no I don't take any money for shelf space or anything of that nature. And I even have some products from Michigan that we sell here. So I'm just like, anybody that's Black, I just look at and be like, hey, what do you do? What business do you have? Come on. How we going to help each other? Like, that's literally what I do all day, all night.
You know what's so beautiful about that is, I remember when we met with our team when ACBN was just starting, like this was 5 years ago, and we were trying to determine like what would be a big win, and changing that initial instinct of a Black person that you see to the thought that they might be a business owner. So as you're saying, like if you meet somebody like, hey, what do you do? And then that conversation encourages people. They're like, yeah, and they love to talk about the business that they're operating instead of the instinct and media. I know it was ingrained in me. You'll see a Black person and your instinct is negative. It's like, I'm like, where is this coming from? And I'm like, I know I'm Black, and why am I feeling like this? So really being
trauma.
The trauma is so real. The trauma is so real. But with me, even because people will come in here, like I have like a 10 o'clock client or whatever. And I'm like, if you're here at 10 o'clock, like you don't have a 9 to 5. So what do you do for an income kind of thing? And so that's how the conversation starts. right? And they'll be
There
like,
you
oh, I
go.
have this and that, or I have a few Airbnbs, or you have a few Airbnbs. I have people that are always coming down here, and my little house can't support everybody. Let me get your, which one is yours? So we're
Absolutely.
not just looking around for anything, right? So
Absolutely.
I cut grass.
Wow.
Okay, I have a whole backyard that you can cut. Come on over, go cut
Yes,
the grass,
yes.
and just take a picture. And so I'll email transfer you. We don't even have to see each other. We just gonna scratch each other's back. That's it.
There you go.
100%. I love it. I love it.
So Maranga, thank you. Saying hi to Dr. Val. Yeah, you haven't been here for a while, but good to have you back. Right way home. Land is power. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Land. Mateus says, check out Keen Realty too. They're Black-owned real estate investors. Another
I
person
will.
we could recommend you to is Ray McMillan,
Yes, yes.
Okay.
who has been in the mortgage business since 1999, and every day checks out the real estate investments of major cities all around North America.
Mm.
You
Okay.
can ask him about a major city in North America. He can give you the demographics, social graphics, living conditions, etc. And also frequency of event promotion says, thank you for being in business. I have a question for you, Salem. When do you sleep?
Right.
Unfortunately, what is that again? Can you define
Okay.
sleep for me?
Next question. Okay.
Um, I actually get pretty good sleep. I probably sleep around 10:30, maybe 11, and I'm out till like about 6 in the morning. But from the minute I wake up at 6 in the morning until 10 o'clock, it's go, 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 go. I don't stop. Yeah,
Wow.
unfortunately. But
You're a mother.
yep, I got a beautiful son, 14 years old, and a little diva who's 3. She's just like me.
Oh, nice.
Wow. Okay.
I
Yeah.
love it. It's like a little mirror, right? I look
It
at my
is.
son and it's like,
It is. It is.
yeah.
Go ahead, Ryan.
Oh, and sorry, yeah, my son just turned 8, and today I was like saying, "Hey, are you ready for the world?" And it felt like I was talking to myself, like 32 years ago. It's a weird dynamic.
There we go. And of
There's
course, the hair is proper on the ears and all that.
right.
Yes.
He comes to work with me. He's actually really good. A lot of our clients, like our children especially, don't like getting their hair done, and they'll sit the way I'm holding him and get their hair done, and they're like so at ease and when they get their hair done. So he's like almost like a little service dog without the certification.
I want to jump into the conference that you've been helping out with Ryan. What are you excited about in regards to this conference? Since you took your time off from work to be at it like 24/7.
Right. So at first when I was asked to be a part of it, I'm like, okay, cool. Like, what do you need my help for? And then they were just like, oh, just to find this, that, and the third, which is like whether it's like venue spaces or speakers, or poets and stuff like that, just like different little things that are like from Windsor that the average person that's not in Windsor wouldn't know where to get it from. So I was like, oh yeah, that's easy. I do that in my sleep. Like I just had to look at my board and I'm just like, here's a poet, here's this, here's that. That was lightweight. But the speakers that will be coming from abroad that I haven't heard from, or like the outside of Windsor, I'm excited for them. And I'm excited just to be in a room full of like-minded people, and how we can help each other, how we can support each other. I was like baffled when I found out that the event was sold out. Everybody is talking about it over here. So it's just exciting to know how different people are able to connect with somebody that's in like the starting stage of their business to somebody that's been in the game for like a really long time. And I'm one of those people that will be like, if I'm talking to somebody and they're like, yeah, I'm looking into doing this, I'll be like, wait, I can find somebody for you. And I'll go connect them and be like, you guys talk. That's like what I do for like a living aside from hair. And so I'm just excited to connect people. And so that by the next year's conference, there's that many more businesses that have already started because of this conference.
Excellent. Oh, are you on mute? Are you talking?
No, I think that
I'm sorry.
I think that also too the how important, Salem, is Black business to the future of Black Canada and Canada.
I think it's super important, especially with, I know in the beginning you guys were talking about AI and all this technology stuff that's taking away from lots of jobs and stuff. Like even when I go into a grocery store and stuff, there's one teller.
That's
Everything
it.
else is manually done. That you
Yep.
would go in, and I refuse. I don't care how long the line is, and I don't care how much of a rush I am. I refuse to use one of those self checkouts. I sit there and wait because I'm trying to let people know like those jobs are important. And unfortunately, our Black community are the ones that are highly in those lower income jobs, right? And now they're being taken away by technology and stuff. So if you're not starting your own business, you're fighting for this one position that's left amongst your other Black counterparts. So it's really, really important that we start our own businesses. And you wouldn't even like, I think everybody has it in them. They just need to find what it is that they could, or how to even pitch it. It could be the dumbest thing, but it's not really that dumb if you can make money off of it, right? So it's just people needing to know what they can have a business in and how to pitch it and who to connect with. And that's why I even think this conference, there'll be people that will be, or at least I'm hoping to hear people talk about how to generate a business and how, and like what it takes to start a business. Cause it's really not just the physical labor.
Well, and
And
I'm just going to add to that point there. So, family, I think most people have heard of what a company called Amazon.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Oh,
Okay. Amazon is buying 1,000 robots a day.
right.
Why?
We're going up against
Robots don't go on strike.
Hmm.
Robots don't need to take breaks,
or
Yeah.
create unions.
or they won't create unions. So if it's happening at that level, it's only a matter of time till it sits down. So if you're not doing, well, I wouldn't say you need to actually do AI. You may or may not, but please at least know about it and the impact, because you're already being impacted about it, whether you know it or not.
yeah.
So if there's any way that you can incorporate it, into your business or service offerings, do it
Yeah.
now. And even and the next step, if you're into it, invest in companies that are in the AI game.
That's true.
There's a company called Nvidia that make chips for AI devices. Their stock price has gone up something like at least 70-80% in the last year, and they're getting deeper into it. So one thing, yes, is a consumer letter. If you can invest in that marketplace, because it's not going away.
No.
Yeah, absolutely. And
That's why I bought land, because I have no interest in AI. I thought it was the coolest thing when we first started with meeting for this conference. I was just like, oh my gosh, this person sent me notes, and they're on top of their game. Didn't realize that it was it was the AI, and I'm just like,
takers,
are
right?
you kidding me? Like the notes were on point. I couldn't have written it better myself. And so but that's a world that I don't even care to tap into at this moment. So I'm like, let me just buy land.
All right.
That's where people are getting lazy with the AI now. Because
Right.
at our last meeting, I'm like, listen, if you're sending your AI into the meeting and not showing up, don't call me after the meeting asking what happened. I thought that's what your AI thing is for. Go read your own notes.
Exactly.
Let's see. So a few things that are going on, more questions. So Mateus, can you repeat the resource for the Black company that provides info on real estate based on demographics? The name of the group is called the Macmillan Group, Inc. I will put their website address before we leave up on the screen. But also, Ray McMillan is on the third Friday of each month. So mark your calendar. Then mark your calendar if you can make it to. Actually, he's on next Friday. So there you go. So he's on next Friday, but I will put the website address on the screen. Dr. Tachi says, wow, to what Salem is doing. Also says hello to Right Way Home. Hello. Greg Frankson, haven't had you on in a minute. I'm excited to be a participant from the stage too. This is going to be an amazing gathering for the community from coast to coast. There's other, okay. Right Way Home is saying, what business opportunities exist in Windsor for Afrocentric cultural services?
Okay.
With the Afrocentric services, we do have a lot of like different. Is it like I'm assuming they're talking about like social services? So we do have different organizations like Family Fuse. We have the Black Council, NSIP, which is a part of the Black Youth Conference coming up. So a lot of times we have different organizations, like different parts of Africa will have different agendas for their own. But then we also have like the Caribbean community that will support the Caribbean, like not only the Caribbeans, but they will support newcomers when they come to Canada and get them like situated and stuff like that. So a lot of our services are helping anybody that's of African descent get settled into Windsor. There's quite a few of them, to be honest, but the promotional part of it is where they lack, and they kind of stick to within their own circle when they should be, broadcasting it to everybody.
Yeah, and one thing that flashed in my mind as you were talking, because as I mentioned, it's my son's birthday today, and this morning I was trying so happy birthday, Christian. I was trying to instill, wisdom into him this morning. I was like, okay, what are the principles that I need to make sure he understands? And I know you've gone through a trying time, and again, if you don't want to get too deep into it, by all means, but I'm curious, principles that your father might have taught you that you want to instill into your kid or your children. Are there any that come to mind?
Yeah, so my dad, he was a lecturer, he was a thinker. My dad just passed away a few weeks ago, so may he rest in peace.
Yes.
But even just listening at his funeral, listening to people talk about him and stuff like that, like he was so positive. At the same time, he always said, think twice, like, and have a plan and have a backup plan, right? It didn't really go too well to me in the beginning because I was stubborn, but I take it with me everywhere I go now because of, at first I would be like, nope, I'm just going to do this. And it's like sink or sail. And I've never, fortunately, I didn't sink. So I was okay with that. But, he always just said, like, always have, like, when you have a plan, always plan it out thoroughly. And then, even though some people will say, well, like, don't have a backup plan, because then you're putting into existence that there's a chance that your business can fail, kind of thing, right? Whereas with me, and that's how I seen it before too. Whereas with me, I didn't see it that way. I seen it as just like, when we have, for example, car insurance, we don't expect to get into a car accident, but just in case we get into a car accident, right? So I think that's why, even though I have my own business, and if I wanted to just have a business in the beginning, I wouldn't have went to school and stuff like that. But I have my degrees in psychology and dramatic arts as a backup. So I know if all fails with my business, let's say, I don't know, Amazon has robots that could do hair now and I'm out of business, at least I know I can go back to using my degrees to work with.
Always have a backup plan.
Right. Work with my businesses and stuff. So
have two backup plans.
Exactly. And that's learning that even now. That's why I'm just like, okay, well, if this fails, then I can, I can fall back on my land and, do Airbnbs over there and so on and so forth. And then, I have a rental property here as well as like my own house. So I have a little bit of income coming in from there. And if
are you presenting at this conference?
I'm not. I'm just gonna,
Ryan,
we're gonna find a spot. Yes,
I think you need to change the agenda. Thank you very much.
I'm not. I'll have like an exhibit. Everyone can come to the shop. I'm not too far from where we're gonna be.
You need to be on stage. Okay, some of the comments. So, and Where you go, the Macmillan
Oh,
Group. Good
yes.
morning, everyone. Salem provided great insights. Windsor presents several opportunities just by its mere location, the busiest border crossing between U.S. and Canada.
Yeah.
Also, so Salem, this is a gentleman I highly recommend you get in touch with. But you're living there, but he also goes, I quite like the way she broke the differences between us from the continent, the Caribbean, and those who were brought here. We need to understand those differences to effectively collaborate.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, Christian, happy birthday to your lovely son, dear Knight. I'm wishing him a great vision and loving compassion for humanity and nature. More questions coming. Right way home, and I love this. The real AI for us is African intelligence.
Yes.
Yes.
What can we learn from our ancestors and bring it forward? Salem, any thoughts?
What can we learn from our ancestors and bring it forward? So seeing my parents and my grandparents and so on and so forth, um, we're the hardest working people I've ever seen. Even here, like a lot of our businesses, the greenhouses, the plants, all of that stuff, the majority of people that work there the longest are of African descent, Caribbean, Black Canadians and stuff, right? I think what we can take from them is continue our hard work, but now work smarter. That's the part that we're lacking. And it's just because our ancestors didn't have the technology to work smarter, right? But without being able to read and write, we were able to create the flat iron and the fridge and the lamps and stuff. But because we didn't have the intelligence to patent it and stuff, somebody else gets that credit for it, or made the millions off of like our creation. So now it's
Yes.
starting our creations, but then owning it and doing whatever it takes to keep it. And in my industry, it breaks my heart when there's an amazing product, whether it's Shea Moisture or Miel and this and that, that's like worldwide known. A white man will come and give you a nice piece of change, and you sell it to him, and then he goes and changes the product, but he's buying the name, and now the product doesn't work as good anymore. Like, I constantly have to change products on my shelf because it was Black owned, it was a great product, it gets sold, they mess with it, now it's horrible for our hair, and then I have to go and find a new product to go and test to bring out and stuff like that, because that money that we get. But now you might get $1 million today, but off of that $1 million that the white man gave you, he's going to make 10 million within a year or two, because they have the artificial intelligence to promote it properly and this and that, and they promote it to our own. And by the time we realize that, like, this product is not the same anymore, because they sold it to a white man, he's already made his 10 million off of the 1 million he offered you. So
that's serious.
Mm-hmm. We're getting some Windsor knowledge bombs today, baby. Windsor knowledge bombs, dropping it. So we don't want to keep you much longer, because just for what you just shared with us, we want you to get a break once in a while.
Right.
This is my break. I'm sitting down. I would have been cleaning up and doing this and that. My assistant is washing my first client's hair at the moment as we speak. So it's coming along.
Progress.
You got to get going. Okay. No worries. We don't want to keep you past the clock.
Yes.
Do you have any final thoughts you'd like to share with our environment?
I think what I always preach here is, we don't have any competition. Our own competition is the person in the mirror. We need to stop competing with each other, or thinking that 2 African restaurants or 2 Caribbean restaurants or 2 hair salons cannot exist in the same city or on the same block or whatever the case may be. So it's like, we just need to understand that whether it's me individually succeeding or you individually succeeding, collaboratively, we're 2 people that are succeeding, and that's better than none of us succeeding when we are crabs in a barrel. So if we can get the crabs in a barrel mentality out of our minds, as Black people, we can get so much further. But the one thing that and it goes back to what you said, Dr. Vibe, with the trauma, whether it's therapy that we need to take, which I'm all for therapy, and I think every Black person should be in therapy. We need to overcome this trauma so we can work collectively together.
All right. Do you have time for one more question?
Absolutely.
All right. Ray is back saying, what do you think is the reason so many Black-owned products sell as opposed to trying to really build? Maybe some companies sell. Is it the sad reality that is quite frequent? It's only about the money.
I don't think it's only about the money. I think it's because, or I would probably think it's, we worked so hard with trial and error to try to figure out a product. And, maybe for the first 10 years, by the time when you calculate how much time you put into it versus how much products you've purchased to what your profit is at the end of the year, let's say you might get 60,000 in profit a year. And then you have this white man telling you, I'll give you $1 million today. Take it out of your hand. The first thing you're thinking is, well, let me take this $1 million, take a break first, and then I can come up with a new product. But he has done so well with promoting this product that you've given him that your next product is not going to make as much kind of thing. So I think it's that fast money in your face that people like run to. So yeah, it might be about the money that they just like take to, right? I think it's the money.
Very enticing.
I hear you too, because I think we're living in a society there. It's immediate gratification, AI, digital, and all that. Where going back to Right Way Home, our ancestors appreciated the journey.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes.
They appreciated the journey and celebrated the journey. I think a number of people just look at the end goal, appreciate the journey. Because if you're only looking at the end goal, there's a lot of great successes along the way that you're ignoring.
Yeah. It's that get rich quick scheme mentality kind of thing. But it's just like, I'm a believer of like, if you get rich quick, then you lose it just as you can become poor again, just even quicker, so it's because we don't have that intelligence to, okay, he gave me $1 million. Let me go and buy this, and that will generate things. How many Black people do you know that drives a Benz and a this and a that and everything and still live in housing?
And okay, they're either leased, they don't own it.
Right. But even if it's leased or not owned, you're still living in like housing or an apartment with 6 people daily. And I'm not knocking any of my clients because I don't know what their background is and stuff like that. But I have people that come in here with thousands of dollars worth of jewelry, shoes, this and that. I highly doubt every single one of them own a house. I'm wearing my shirt, but like $2 shoes, $10 tights. Nope. But we can go look at my bank account real quick. You know what I mean? Like, so this is just clothes. It's skin. It's just to cover some skin. That's it. Like, why am I going to spend money on things that are materialistic that depreciate? So
no value,
exactly.
No value. No
value at all.
Stack those assets.
Well, Salem, we want to thank you for taking time away from your family, your dog.
She didn't take time away from the dog. The dog right there.
Well, initially she did.
He had a lot to say. He was just like, and he doesn't even bark. That's the crazy part. He's never a barker. He sits in his little corner. But today he was just like, yeah, my owner is right. He's talking. He was rooting for me.
Showtime. I love it.
Well, we want to say congratulations on the success you've had, past, present, and future. Also, condolences on losing your father.
Thank you.
Right, so very, very important. And I guess at least 2 of us, myself and Ryan are going to be, well, you've already seen Ryan, but I'll get a chance to meet you when I'm down in Windsor.
Yes, I'm excited to meet you in person. I'm excited for the conference. I'm super, super excited.
Well, thank you so much for taking the time. We will be in touch. If you don't mind, I'm going to give you Ray McMillan's contact information.
Please do.
That would be a very good conversation. And you're a land baron. Watch out.
Yes, mobile making.
And most importantly, Well, no, you are. You're doing it. I don't know if I was trying. You're doing it.
Yes.
You're doing
Okay.
it, right? And most importantly, congratulations on being a great mother. Most important.
Thank you. Thank you.
Be well and keep the faith. Have a great day.
Yes, you guys too. Have a blessed day.
Bye bye. All right.
Awesome. Awesome.
Thank you, Ryan.
Hey, there's wonderful people amidst.
Well, that's why you're that's why you're the guy. That's why I just hang on to your coattails.
Right. I'm still the grasshopper learning at the master's feet.
Well, I'm not the master. I'm just a guy like us. I'm just a common man. For that, there is no shame. So great conversation, and there's Salem's contact information. Everybody, yeah, lots of things coming up, family. So let's go over the drill again. If you haven't done yet, please like the Dr. Vibe Show on YouTube.
Yes,
also hit the notification button. Please like the Dr. Vibe Show also on Facebook and LinkedIn. Also, whatever platforms Ryan is on, hit that button too.
Yes, yes.
Also, would you like to join the Morning Vibe Discord group? That's our own little private chat room where we have conversations in between our epic conversations here. So let's do that. Right. Some other things. There's all my contact information, the drvibeshow.com website, email dr.vibe at the drvibeshow.com, YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn, the Dr. Vibe Show, Twitter at drvibeshow, the gram at the drvibeshow. Would you like to promote your business or service on the show? Contact me at dr.vibe at the drvibeshow.com. Also, I know someone was looking for Ray's contact information. Let me put up right quick if you're still watching. Nice, the McMillan Group. Let me see if I can put it up quick. Bam, 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 bam. Yes, here it is. McMillan Group. There's their phone numbers. Canada, US, toll free. Website information. It's all there. So screenshot it or watch this on the replay. I'm giving you 10 more seconds. And Ray will be on next Friday. So get ready. So speaking about that, some of the things on the Dr. Vibe Show between now and next Friday. This Monday.
Yes.
Dr. Tachi, who was in the chat room, family. She's going to be on Monday because she'll be talking about media tech and pop culture and also talking about the launch of Indie Soup Media on June 19th. A 24/7 online programming. We're part of it. I'm part of it. All right. Yes. Also, this Tuesday, 9 p.m. Eastern on the Dr. Vibe Show, Dr. Vibe's going to be speaking with Dr. Alicia Watkins about Black Fathers and Father's Day. Ooh. You need to catch that conversation. If you have not heard Dr. Alicia in action, your wood's wet. Sorry to say that. Ryan's caught some of them, and she
I'm looking forward to this one.
So if you don't know who she is, if any of you have heard about the name Dr. Boyce Watkins, that's his wife, and she has her PhD in social work.
Yes, yes.
And she has been doing counseling of Black couples for over 10 years. So she knows what she's coming up about. And then next Wednesday morning at 10 a.m., the Dr. Vibe Show with Roger Dundas, co-founder and publisher of BuyBlacks.com. We're going to have a conversation with Devin McDonald from Carnes O'Neill. Sorry, I got too many things there. We're going to be talking about AI and advertising. Again, Mr. McDonald's organization, one of their major clients is Kobo, like the Kobo Reader. And I saw him present a little over a week ago. They did a full campaign using AI only. They didn't go to an agency. They did everything of the campaign using AI. So if you have some time, I would suggest, if you can, catching that conversation or at least catching on the replay, because there'll be something that you will learn whether you're in advertising or not about AI.
Right.
Wow. Whew, that was a mouthful. Oh my gosh. And then you can watch replays of the Morning Vibe, the Dr. Vibe Show, YouTube and Facebook, Afro Caribbean Business Network, Facebook and YouTube, and Ryan Oneil Knight on YouTube and LinkedIn. Ryan, what do you got going on for the weekend?
So tomorrow we have
Yes.
the Grow Your Business event. Thanks to Jamal Wiggins from Empro Graphics helping
Yes.
us, and Sandra, I'll say ACBN representative of Durham. So that's going to be at a Fairy Groove in Ajax. Shout out to Sanaj. And Sunday, it's Christian's birthday party. So I will be just taking these.
Birthday in. Yeah. Congratulations.
Yeah, making sure that he's
Congratulations.
having a good time. So looking forward to the weekend. How about
Uh,
yourself? What's the
Today's somewhat quiet, which
Mm.
is good. Tomorrow's quiet for most of the day. Oh, again, tomorrow night, State of Things with Aisha, Jill, and Lala, 9
Yes,
p.m.
yes.
Eastern time. So that's happening. Dr. Tachi, thank you. Great show as usual. Thank you, Dr. Tachi.
Much
You do great shows
appreciated.
always too.
Mm.
Fitness IQ Cam, lovely conversation. Rob, no, he doesn't have a gala this weekend. His gala is his son's birthday. That's
Yes, my
that's his
8-year-old gala.
This is exactly it. And Dr. Tachi said, yes, assets over liabilities. Fantastic. So family. Woo! That was a conversation today. Thank you again. And spread the word. Spread the word about what we are doing. Not we're not trying to do it. We've been doing it. You know, Ron, you said this the other day. We're past 2 years, aren't we?
Oh, I might be freezing. Don't mind.
You're frozen. Yes, you're frozen. But yeah, can you consider? Yeah, we're past 2 years, aren't we? I just thought about that. We're kind of like, yeah, we probably just passed just a few months ago 2 years of the morning vibes. Okay, Ryan has himself on mute, so I don't know. Ryan, you're on mute. That's better.
How's that?
That's better. Yeah,
Yes,
I'm just
yes.
saying that we've
to check the show count. I think we're up there.
Yeah, well, we passed 2 years. I think now. I don't even think about it anymore, but just hit in my head. We're past 2 years, and a number of you have been along for the ride. You know what we're gonna do? We haven't done it for a while. We should think about this down the road. Show snippets of our first conversation. Look at where we came from.
Hey, absolutely.
You know what? We'll have to talk. We'll have to talk. We'll have to talk about this offline. Do like periodically doing shows. Show morning vibe highlights.
I love it. I think that'd be excellent. We'll put the interns on that. Get the clips ready.
All right, then, family. We're gonna let you go. Live your life as a dream. If you can dream it, you can make it. Sometimes you have to get small to get stronger. Block assumptions, then aim bigger, aim better, aim higher, aim wider. Love, faith, and respect. Remember to give yourselves grace and don't just manage your time, manage your energy. Have an outstanding weekend. As you see, we got lots of stuff going on over the next week. So make sure you're following us because there's a lot of stuff going on. All right. God bless. Peace be well. Keep the faith and walk good.